Forever, now and forever I'll be. Are we going? What's going on here? Let me see. Are we live yet, people? Okay, we're live on the YouTubes. Are we live on the Twitters yet? Or the X? Elon Musk's X? So close, so damn close here, man. Oops. I hit the damn stop button. All right, now we're starting again. I gotta post. Do we gotta run it? No schedule. This is post. Let's go. Go live already. Start now. Oh, I heard myself. Where's that coming from? Who said that? I'm so confused now. Don't do this to me. Let me show you guys my face. Oh, there we are. Hello. If anybody is watching, I think somebody could be watching, but why isn't it showing up on frickin'? I don't fucking get it. Every time I try to do one of these things, I always have to, it takes an hour to start. Oh, okay. There it is. We made it. We made it through the wilderness. All right, ladies and babies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? In case you don't know, or if you do know, my name is Mr. LeftHouse. I've been here in the crypto space since about 2017. I had an older brother that kept calling me and yammering, telling me that I should jump into this world and check it out. So I did that slowly. It took me a second to listen to him before I actually did it. And once I jumped into a little bit of the crypto before Ethereum had launched even on Coinbase yet, you know, we had only just a few coins in the game. Now we're into the billions. Immediately when I got in, I started reading all these promising white papers from all these companies that were starting to launch tokens. And, you know, they had all these amazing plans and things in them in these white papers, and all of the infrastructure of what I was reading seemed completely opposite of the world that I was born into, and all of the financial games that you know, I've been presented to since I was a kid or born into or whatnot. Speaking on behalf of that, my father worked at the Chicago Board of Trade. My grandfather worked there. Aunts, uncles, cousins. I worked there when I was 16. Had no idea what the hell was going on. Still have an older brother that works down near or in the Chicago Board of Trade or the CBOT, whatever you want to call it. I forget which building he works in or whatnot, but still down there in the trenches. So when I started looking at all this stuff, by the way, by my trade, by my passion and by heart is filmmaking, making music and making art. It has been my entire life. I've always lived on a creative path and a creative journey. And as a filmmaker, I've written and directed up to 9 feature films. Now I'm finishing my 9th one right now. It's called Elizabeth and Mexican Boy. And in the final phases of editing. I'm going to be looking for finishing funds to finish it at the highest level it can possibly be. I think this is the best piece of art that I've ever made in the history of myself making art. across all mediums. The most recent film that I have released in this past year is called Rabbit Hole. It is all about the crypto space. It's about you. If you are in the crypto space, then it's pretty much about you on some level. It's a ride. I like to say it lives somewhere between The Big Lebowski and Darren Aronofsky's Pi. It's fun. It's a ride. It's not a documentary. It's a narrative. And that's primarily most of the films that I've made have been narratives. I've made a couple of short documentaries, one about train travel. I made recently a documentary called Pulse of Consensus with Richard's only brother, Shane Schuler, and employed by Tom Peter Gillespie at Bitjoin Studios, which has turned into, like the future home of LeftHouse, which is my current focus, is this Bitjoin Studios project, which is launching on PulseChain. And it is an amazing little thing that I'm super stoked to be a part of, because essentially going back to that 2017 when I was reading all of these white papers for all the ICOs and all the things that were coming out at the time, I was just blown away. But I started to see the film industry and how it could really utilize the tools and the technology of the blockchain. And I was for certain that this would be a thing, that this was good, that these worlds collide, and that they're going to collide into one, just like all industries will, but especially these entertainment industries. I've gotten jobs before as an actor on a television show, and it's taken like 6 weeks, 2 months to get your paycheck sometimes, due to the way that the systems are set up. And we all know here in crypto that there's, it's all about payment systems and ways of doing things for a much better deal, much better price and whatnot. So, early, of course, I came just like everybody else did to get rich, and, fell in love with the tech, started building in about 2019. In those early days, I was always on the hunt for crypto games. I wanted to find games that I could earn crypto off of. And the first one that I found was on the Steemit blockchain, which is now called the Hive blockchain. I mean, this game is like a multi-chain game, but it's called Splinterlands. It's a card game. And it was really fun. I got into it and played hard in the early days, until I stumbled into the Upland metaverse, which is on the EOS blockchain. But the community in Upland at the time, a lot of them were dabbling on the Wax blockchain, and I was part of an artist group that formed out of the Upland metaverse. And in conjunction with the team of Upland, they gave the the Upland fan art crew. That was the name of the Upland fan art, was the name of our crew. Like the rights to the Upland IP, so that we could start making content and NFTs and stuff, to help build the Upland name. And in that process, so then that's how I ended up on in the Wax blockchain originally, was by way of Upland. And that turned into meeting a couple guys, Mars Utah and Rick Hoyer. And both of these dudes had very similar ideas of creating a comic book. And so we all three, with a couple others, started to do that. And at the time, we launched a collection of character cards on the Wax blockchain. At the time, there was no collections, or there was no staking, this and that, very little, just a few alien worlds that had I think had some, maybe not, but there was Our Planet alien worlds that were popping up, and Our Planet was gonna gave access, or like our comic book, Metaphors Comics, was going to be one of the first collections that was that you'd be able to stake in the Our Planet gaming staking system. So it was kind of revolutionary at the time, to like have another collection, be able to stake in this collection, at least on Wax. This was early days. And the tools on Wax, even in the early days, were more advanced than the tools on any of the other chains. So as a creator, it was a great place to be. Now, at the time when we launched the collection of character cards for the Metaphors comics, like it sold out, very quickly in 10 minutes, the entire collection. And, I got paid my percentage for the work that I had done on that drop and then on that collection within that day, which blew my mind, because that's like what I'm talking about. This is like, this is where the film industry could utilize some of these tools to move things along faster, which would then lend to giving more time for creativity and creating the film, which is largely lost in the, like the Hollywood system or whatnot. It's just a huge commercial, and how they run things. It's a refined commercial that's been refined and refined and refined to a turd. And they continuously find themselves squandering their resources and their audiences. And I don't know. I thought by now the generation that would be in charge of the studios would have been wise enough to and bold enough to do creative things outside of the box instead of playing the commercial standard norm. So once I started reading all those white papers again back in 2017, before I got into the the full thing with the Metaphors comics, and before I was fully an Upland fan art crew member, I wanted to build LeftHouse on Ethereum, on chain. And I launched an ERC20 token by way of the try-roll system, and had this idea to build an ecosystem that would help fund films, help connect filmmakers and creators together to be able to work on things. I wanted to hold contests, film contests, try to accumulate piles of tokens to award to filmmakers for their creations, for their budgets, and try to be somewhat of an alternative crypto film generating, creating, distributing studio. Let's pause on the word, my name, Mr. LeftHouse, LeftHouse, and the name of the company, LeftHouse. Where does that come from? It comes from the year 2005, when I started a bedroom techno record label called LeftHouse. I was making a living. I made a living for about 10 years as a techno DJ out here in Los Angeles. Played all over the country, different countries in the world. And did it, for a solid 10 years before I started to focus more on writing, directing, and acting in films. Again, I'd taken a hiatus to work on it, to focus on the music there for a few years. But now my focus was coming back towards film in the mid 2000s. And so then my journey towards directing began. I had started acting much longer ago, around the age of 18, 19 in Austin, Texas. And so that was primarily my focus leading forward, which led me out to Los Angeles, which then I stumbled into the music and focused on that for a while, then back into the film. And so then LeftHouse traveled with me. The name LeftHouse traveled from the record label, which we're still putting out music under that name. It turned into the film production company. And for a brief moment, it almost turned into a legitimate skateboarding company. We even had a small team for a little while that we were giving boards to, and we made a video. And I had 2 out of 3 investors. Everybody was saying, yes, we're all in. 2 of them threw in. The third one never threw in. And so the whole thing kind of ultimately fell apart and didn't happen. Thank God, because then I injured myself, and it would have been torture if I couldn't skate and was just injured stuck in that world. So I think it worked out for the best. And then, so LeftHouse Crypto, came about, and it was like, here, let's go. Let's launch this token. So we got all these plans. We created a little stupid white paper, and the bull run began, and gas prices started shooting up, way the hell up. And it was impossible to run and do what I was trying to do. So at the same time, that's when the Metaforce Comics thing was starting to really pop off. So I was pretty focused and busy working on doing most of like the video versions, the animation versions of the comic books. We would create different rarities, and the top rarity was one with actors' voices, sound effects, movement in the images and stuff, all before the AI stuff came out. God, if I had that stuff when we were making that would have been a lot of fun. But so anyway, side note, I should go back and remix them. That would be a lot of fun to do. So yeah, so there we go. That's how I ended up over on Wax. And then once the comic book sort of fell apart and fizzled out, I sort of turned my attention more towards, film again on chain. And, I was finishing my film Rabbit Hole, and was looking to release that at the end of the last bull run, right when the bear started. So I kind of released it to a small crew inside of my community by way of an app that I was trying to build called the Movie City Cinema, which was a watch to earn as well as a play to earn deal. Again, during the bear, with a lack of funds and a dev on the run, living in a van, the thing never fully got to full function and worked. At the same time, I started reaching out to other streaming sites on chain. I've got it all. I got Rabbit Hole set up. It's a feature film, but I have it set up as a 6-part animation, or no, 6-part, not animation, the 6-part series that will come out on OmniFlix. So there'll be multiple ways that you'll be able to view this story in different formats, as well as, yeah. So my goal was to basically release that film, into the crypto space first before I went out to the normie world, and do the online distribution, film festivals, all that stuff, which I had done so many times before with all the other films that I have made up to this point. Ultimately, I decided to not release it as the premiere, as a series on OmniFlix, which is on the Cosmos blockchain. Because Upland had come to me, and they remembered when I said early days when I was first started messing around in that metaverse. I met the creators of Upland, and I told them that I wanted to run a movie theater out of that metaverse, and I did in the early days by way of a property address in the metaverse that I owned, which used to be an old movie theater, indie theater in San Francisco. I used a Discord channel. I had NFT tickets on Wax, and it was a complete jumbled fuckery mess to keep running. But it was fun and had juice and had some activity for a little while, for a good couple of months before I, stopped running that and started focusing on other projects at the time. So then 3 years later, Upland came back to me and they said, yo, we're there. Have the technology to run, to do the movie theater. And so I said, yes, I want to do it. We built the theater. We premiered Rabbit Hole in the metaverse, the Upland metaverse, at the LeftHouse Theater. Over 500 people came through the theater to watch the film. 70, almost 80 of them had stayed and watched the entirety of the entire film. I will say that is a better audience than some of the film festivals that I've screened at some of my films at. So I was really excited by all the juice that came through the theater that night. We even had hoodlums at the beginning of the movie that were trying to close the curtain on the movie, and they were running around, jumping around. We had to kick them out. It felt great. It felt like we had some teenage hoodlums in there that we had to deal with and get rid of them. So we did. We got rid of them, and the movie played great. So as you can see, I've been a cross-chain monkey for a long time. I'm not chain agnostic at all. I'm a lover of the tech. I'm a lover of the devs and what they do. I think they're incredible artists, and their inventions of what they've made on chain. Some of them are just beautiful, insane, next level. I mean, hence that's why, I'm still here in so many ways, in so many levels. I've not become rich because of crypto. I've taken my eye off the ball, largely focusing it back towards creativity when I should probably be keeping my eye on the crypto. I've let my bags or run up during the bull runs and run down during the bear runs and run back up during the bull runs. Some of the greatest moves that I've made in this space have been absolute mistakes that have turned into huge victories, or just dumb moves that have turned into huge victories. It's easy to be a winner in the bull. I'm a grinder. I've always been a grinder in this game. So I've started from the bottom. Now I'm here. I start with pennies and I've turned them into dollars. I've turned dollars into hundreds of dollars and 1,000, like that's sort of the way that I've gone about crypto game, all that stuff. So, I'm the opposite of a degen on some level. I'm like a degen that's like, well, a grinder degen on some level, because I'm a pro at repetition and doing something monotonously over and over again. It seems like that's what life seems to present to me in many, many circumstances. So, where are we now in the story of Mr. LeftHouse? I found Richard Hart early on in my crypto career, and I just thought he was the greatest. I thought he was like the most punk rock, like most honest voice in the space, and I just loved those early arguments that he had with some of the other big figureheads at the time, and just like him going after him, and just like his smarts and his the way that he can handle people in debates was like super fun and exciting, and I believed. So I was there at the beginning of Hex and took the ride, and sacrificed the Pulse. And when Pulse launched, it was always my intention and goal. It's like, I want to come over to PulseChain and start, LeftHouse on Pulse. Because primarily Wax is like, a bunch of gamers. And I've, started to gamify my films and my music and my art. And, and that has been an amazing education. It's been wild. It's been awesome. And I want to continue to add some of these features to the films and my art and music as I release it. But I've always thought of Wax as like a freaking practice chain, and it's because it was so cheap. I never took it like that seriously in the early days, in the sense of like, a place to get like super rich or blah, blah, blah. But like, I mean, they definitely have communities over there, and they come and go with the bear and the bull, it seems like. But there's definitely some juice in that corner. It seems like there's a lot of scams over there. Even the bosses that run it, they're kind of. I've been told that they were trying to make a crazy online casino at some point. They sort of have some weirdo. I've heard they don't pay people at times or whatnot. I heard they would never get a Coinbase listing or something because of like sort of the dirty antics or something, like the edges around some of the stuff that they've done or something. Maybe that's what I've heard. But I don't have any like real legit facts or evidence of like, oh, this is how bad or this that. It just kind of feels like something is a sus, as aloof, as a myth, as a something awry. And maybe that's just because my bias of being on a chain for so long that I don't really feel like I am like the right fit for. So always like thinking and looking for another chain that would be more film art centric. I'm not necessarily saying that I'm seeing that like, oh wow, there's like, but there is a handful of filmmakers on PulseChain. There's definitely some rad creators and some rad art that's popping up over there, but the community as a whole is what I think is appealing on some levels. Also, like not just like the cult quality of the PulseChain community, the Hex community. It's there's a lot of intelligence. I feel like I mean, there might be a lot of like machismo, stupid, like I want to be like Richard Hart, yell at people and like this or that or whatever. But like there's a lot of intelligence. There's a lot of information. I feel like there's been a lot of people in the PulseChain X community that maybe have been through it, have gotten rugged or gotten robbed, gotten hacked, gotten whatever, and then like that didn't turn them away. It made them smarter. It made them, grow. It made them figure things out. Which, by the way, is the title of this episode. I got hacked. I connected my wallet, my fault. I mean, I don't know. I actually don't even know if I connected to it. I definitely recognize the name and the logo of the place, but it's like, it's a legit company, but I guess I was connecting through a bum page, a bum way, or it came through an email and I clicked on it. I don't know. I can't remember. I vaguely remember doing something or such about a week or so ago. And then after, Shane Schuler, Richard's only brother, helped me sort of pathway it through to figure out what the hell, who happened or what. And we found by way of DBank that, I went through some page or whatever that put in on the, what is it called? The Inferno Burner. And it said it could have, Inferno Drainer. It could have drained my entire wallet, every coin that I had in my wallet. Multiple, Base, ETH, PulseChain, black, just a bunch of Polygon, and like a bunch of different chains were in that wallet, The only thing they took was all of my PLSX. And yeah, it hurt. Yes, it stung. Yes, it felt gross, like somebody stuck a finger up my butt. Like, definitely. But at the same time, though, too, like, I'm going to be honest, that wallet was like my first MetaMask wallet that I had since the beginning of MetaMask. And, I was dirty with it. I connected to a lot of shit and whatever. And I'm surprised that I never gotten fucked with or hacked or, drained before. And even in the last month, my brain was just like, you probably got to do something. It's been a long time. You haven't done, you should probably, it's like, but I just didn't stop to listen to it totally. But so, yeah, all those negative feelings, I definitely felt them. I even had like a movie screening that I went to that same day, that evening. And, I was like at home trying to sort it all out. Then I left to the thing, and the screening was amazing. It was this movie that I just had a couple scenes in as an actor. I shot it like 4 years ago, right before the pandemic happened. So I barely remembered anything in it. It's a great movie. It's all about loneliness. Great actors in it. I was really happy with my performance in it. So I was like jazzed. Had this great little night at this little screening. And when I got in the car to head home, it was like halfway home, I just like remembered that I had gotten hacked and robbed, and I was like, oh fuck, like, I was in such a good mood, and then quickly turned back to, oh fuck. But the next feeling and thought or whatever that came out of that is like, they only took the PLSX. That is a bullish ass sign for PLSX. It's a sign that the bull run has begun. And then you look at the charts today across the board. I mean, there's so much green. There's so much green. I know people are afraid to say it because it's been an intense, long bear cycle. And then quickly turn back to it's scary to say, like, oh no, but you don't want, nobody wants to say it because they don't want to be like, dude, you said or whatever, whatever. I don't care. I've been saying it for like, I don't know, 5 years that we've been 6 years since I got into the crypto. We basically have been in the bull run the entire time. Like for the most part, that's kind of the way I see it. As soon as getting in early was a helper. Because it's almost like there are certain moves and accumulations and things that I've done, and sense of being a grinder and stuff. Like I'm always going to be in the green no matter what happens. It's sort of the way it is at this point. But I don't know how that helps anybody else. So PulseChain. So we're here, lots of green. I'm looking at most of these are PulseChain things. These are some of the coins that I was holding or I'm holding. that's kind of the way I see it.
And it's nice. This is nice to see some large percentiles. Look at the Bitcoin, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, E.1, 27%
accumulations and things
popping off on the day there. That's a nice candle.
I'm always going to be in the green no matter what happens.
Let's go to the PulseChain area.
Here.
So yeah, so let's keep. I'm almost done with the Mr. LeftHouse story. So we're over here, you know, in the PulseChain ecosystem or whatever. For the last year, I've been trying to like build some things by way of NFTs. I want to release some of my films on PulseChain and this and that. I was like trying to do things, having technical issues, having like I'm not like a full tech dev dude. I'm not at all. But I learned a lot on Wax. Wax is not an EVM chain, so the language is a little bit different. So when I'm looking at stuff, I got it. I kind of don't got it. I'm also a dyslexic freak too, so that plays into when I'm trying to learn new language. It's like my brain flips completely upside down sometimes. So it takes me a second to get around the corner. But yeah, so struggling to do things, and then, you know, of course, like last year I'd met Shane Schuler, Richard Hart's only brother, and we shot a little thing when I was in Texas, and we fell in love with each other, and then he introduced me to Tom Peter Gillespie, the famous documentarian who has done, you know, lots of interviews with lots of Hexicans and PulseChain family members, and he's, you know, off tomorrow morning to go on a tour to all these different conferences and events as he's working on his DJ Doco series. And you know, so he put me together with Tom, and we started talking about, you know, film, this, that, and the other. Started feeling like we're pretty similar, like-minded. I was blown away at what Bitjoin Studios was doing, because it was like, shit, this is everything LeftHouse was trying to do at one point before I got yammered into the comic book gamer life over there on Wax. And, you know, I've been slowly pushing back towards the film, to all these different out the whole last year. And, you know, so we're like, yes, we're getting each other vibing. And so, you know, he brought me into the Bitjoin Studios project, and you know, it's an amazing project. There's going to be we had a meeting, an incredible meeting this morning, and what a wonderful team, lovely people, all fucking like anarchist-minded, you know, fuck the system dudes that have been in the game or in their games for a long time, and they're at the top of their game. Credentials of these people are insane. And so the idea is to have 5 filmmakers that are the cohort, the Bitjoin Studio cohort, and these 5 filmmakers are going to earn a basic income to create their films. And there is the tokenomics that play into it. We've just started to talk about publicly, actually, last night, it was Tom Peter Gillespie's partner, Rich, who's one of the fellas that runs Bitjoins. We do a Twitter or X space every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. PST. That's my Los Angeles time. He's over there in Sweden, which is like 8 or 9 a.m., I believe, for him. But yeah, the creating a cult of content. We've done 4 episodes. We're basically blogging our journey as we create and build Bitjoin Studios. So join us for that show if you want to see how our journey unfolds. And so yeah, so we're building towards this cohort of filmmakers, getting their basic income, helping distribute their films, and they're helping their productions, all of it, baby steps. I don't want to get all into it right now on this episode. That's all I'll say about it right now. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing some streams and releasing content as well on the Bitjoin Studios YouTube channel as well. But you know, so then yeah, meeting with the Bitjoins with Tom and Rich. You know, we decided that it would be fun for me to go to Austin, Texas, and follow Shane Schuler, Richard Hart's only brother,
around the Consensus Crypto Convention, and we ran into many of you Hexakins and PulseChain, Pulsakins. Do we call them Pulsakins? Over there. It was super fun. The movie's incredible. It's great. I think it says a lot about the state of crypto at that time, and where we are at and where we're headed. So much has changed since then till now. It's unbelievable. At that time, Bobby Kennedy was running for president. Now he's part of Trump's cabinet, or he's on the team, whatever you call it. So yeah, much has changed out there in the space, as it does very quickly. So more coming from Bitjoin Studios. I got robbed of my PLSX. That's a bull sign. Look at the charts. There's green everywhere. I think it's happening. I mean, it's happening. That's my belief. Of course, none of this is that financial. You got to do your own research. All that hoopla. What else? Also on Wax, the only thing that I'm committed to keeping up on the Joneses with over there, as far as whatever I've created, is the PEPE token, which I've issued about a year ago over there. We've got several different NFTs that you can stake to earn that PEPE token. We just launched a AIRDROP campaign. I'll bring it to the screen here. That you can find. It's out there. None of this is that you can join up to earn more LeftHouse Wax PEPE. So that is it's PEPE. It's PEPE's for the people. Everything I do for that token is for the people. And I've always put my face on it. I've done a lot of streaming. I've just streamed over 3 years worth of episodes for Upland, for many for the Metaforce Comics, for LeftHouse. I've interviewed almost, I don't know, in last bull run I interviewed every game creator, half the artists in this space. We gave away thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of value in NFTs and tokens and stuff over the years. I've done some art for different games and metaverses in the space. I did some art for, they did a artist spotlight on me in Upland. I was like the third artist ever to be spotlighted over there, which is cool. I created some Block Explorer skins, if you will, avatar skins, if you will. I don't know. I'm a believer. I'm a true believer. I do truly believe in PulseChain. I believe in other communities like Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, Inu, as well as the Hoba, the Honey Badgers over there. They're kind of similar family. But if you're a PulseChain guy, I'm sure you watch your friend Somi. And I agree with him. What he says, there's two communities out there in crypto, and I just named them both. I'm a true believer. So NT Way, what else is there to say? I might do a fake '80s DJ set with some fake '80s music, fake '80s dance music DJ set over on the Bitjoin Studios YouTube page. All copyright-free music. With some amazing crypto samples. I'm gonna either do that today or tomorrow, depending on what else I need to get done or whatever. I just gotta organize my shit. But so LeftHouse is moving forward, focusing on the Bitjoin Studio project and moving that into the future. PulseChain is my focus. I'm going to be streaming and screaming about PulseChain and Hex, and I want to interview all creators, all you influencers, all you guys screaming about PulseChain. I want you guys to come on my show or come my stream, because I have a community that some know about some know about PulseChain, some don't want to know. But yeah, we need, I'm thinking we need more streamer. We need more. The voice needs to be as loud as possible. So I want to do my part and spit, and I want to share your spit as well. So let's spit together. What else? I just had another thought or thing in my head. I was like, oh, I should say that. I should tell you guys about that too. Richard Hart only has one brother. That is Shane Schuler. He's a legend. He's a hero. We need
and
more.
He's my friend.
We need more. The voice needs so that's all I can say about that. What else? I want to do my part. I'm forgetting one other thing that I should tell you guys. I want to share your spit. Well, I'll just tell you guys in the next time, in the next video, then, the next stream. I just had another thought. But you know, do what you got to do. Be a believer. Love your brother and sister. Let's talk about it later. He's a hero. More movies, more entertainment, more tools, more juice. Let's spread and celebrate each other's juice. You know what I'm saying? Like Slime Whale needs to be like celebrated more on PulseChain. Like that his art and what he's doing is legendary. But you know what I mean? Like we need to prop you up. Do what you gotta do. Prop up the projects and the things that you believe in from the PulseChain ecosystem, and let the world be known about what the frick is happening over here. More juice. Because I do think it has like incredible value in many levels to that. Many levels of value is here in the PulseChain community. You know what I mean? Like we need to prop you up. So yeah, the project. Fuck yeah. See you guys later.